In Italy, when we talk about free and open source software, people are surprised because often they don't know what we are talking about. It's not a problem between generations. It doesn't depend on your degree or where you live, on your geographic statement. It's just a cultural problem. When we say free and open source software, people think only of the word free. Do you think free? It's right. So they think that they don't have to pay for the software and they can save money, but they believe that the software is not a good one. Unfortunately, the word free is often synonymous of lesser and lower value. But what is free and open source software really? Free and open source software is a software that everybody is free to use, study, share, and improve. That's because the source code is openly shared so that people are encouraged to improve it. Choosing free and open source software, I think, is back to simplicity. But how can we bind the concept of simplicity with free software? In my opinion, there are many elements in common between free software and our Umbrian traditions and our grandparents' peasant ways of life. Sharing. If we think sharing, we can take example from our grandmothers, who in the past used to share their recipes with their neighbors. In this way, they passed down recipes otherwise destined to disappear. They didn't have Facebook, they didn't have Instagram or Pinterest, they didn't photograph their foods, they didn't know the hashtag food porn. But they shared their recipes and they shared their best foods. They also lent each other their skills. My grandfather, and even today my father, exchanged their labor skills. My grandfather was a bricklayer. So, for example, he could build a fireplace for a friend who, in return, could make some plumbing working if he was a plumber. Our grandparents had a big respect for their work and for the work of others, and they considered valuable their skills and skills of others. They shared with simplicity only the best they have. And now we shared only our superfluous things, mainly superfluous things. In free and open source software communities, you have to share only the best you have. Ideas, your good ideas. Skills, your best skills. And time, your precious time. And if we talk about collaboration, I usually think that free and open source software communities resemble Umbrian musical bands, in which all the musicians have to march together and with the same rhythm. Likewise, the members of the community have to work together, being open to collaboration. But how can bands and members of communities march at the same rhythm? Not with a hierarchical organization, but with duocracy. Duocracy that is based on a meritocratic principle that rewards people who do and who do better than others. Marching with the same rhythm is easier if the music teacher was chosen for its ability to lead others. Collaborating with people who do, and who do better than others, it's simple. It's simple for the musicians, and it's simple for the members of the communities too. Listening to the others. There is another similarity between musical band and communities. I played in a band for 15 years. And in a band, the musician, before playing, has to listen to the others. And this is exactly how a developer has to understand the needs of the users before writing the software. In free and open source software communities, user is king. Free and open source software communities puts people at the center. Not technology, not instruments, not money, but people. Users propose changes and improvements, taking part in the community. Free and open source software communities, like the musicians in a band, needs to listen to the others. Our forefathers lived cooperatively in a culture of simplicity. They joined forces to achieve larger goals than could be attained individually, so that the whole was always more than the simple sum of the parts. I was born and lived since 2003 in a very little village named Compignano. Compignano has about 300 inhabitants. All the inhabitants know each other and cooperate to organize village festivals and other beautiful moments for the community, like a live scene of nativity for Christmas or musical concerts in May and November. It's strange, but a little community can do great things. And free and open source software communities made of enthusiastic people can do more than a big enterprise. In the past, our grandparents were very creative. They used to invent some working tools, especially the ones they didn't have or they didn't afford. I remember, and my father conserved it, my grandfather invented a machine to build buttons for his daughter, a working tool that didn't exist, and he had designed to facilitate the dressmaker work of my aunt. Free and open source software community can help us to rediscover our creativity. Open innovation in general stimulates our creativity. Our forefathers, and also our parents, I think, reuse all their things. For example, where their clothes were worn out, they recover buttons and they reuse the clothes to make other things. Now, we threw it away. And in the migration project to free and open source software, reusing, it's very important. I can talk about LibreUmbria. LibreUmbria is the project of migration to LibreOffice of Umbrian public administrations. In this project that I coordinate with others, we shared all the project documents and slides and best practice because other public administrations and other enterprises could save time and money reusing our products. And now, Ministry of Defense that announced its project migration to LibreOffice last month, signing an agreement with LibreItalia, will reuse our documents and our best practice. And I believe this is fantastic, because all the documents and materials could be improved and shared in the same way to help other public administrations and other enterprises that want to migrate to LibreOffice. Free and open source software help us to reuse the work of others and to promote the best use of time and skill and work and ideas. Our grandparents in the countryside lived in a very simple way, not because they didn't have problems, but because they knew how to solve complex problems. They had experienced war, poverty, and hunger. They rebuilt a devastated country, and they didn't frighten at nothing. The migration to free and open source software projects are complex. It would be easier for a public administration or for an enterprise to buy a license of a proprietary software than exchange the behavior of their users. But migration projects can help us to rediscover our ability to solve complex problems. But what's happened, and when did we lose our simplicity? While still living in this culture of simplicity, both socially and economically, we were introduced to a fascinating world of technology as it was developed in advanced parts of the world. We adapted to technology and installed proprietary software because they were made easy and easy to use, but we didn't understand how they worked. This led a profound change in our manner of working together, and we lost our capacity of listening and learning from others and collaborating. We became jealous of our works and our skills, and we ended up working in isolation. Migration project is a journey. Migration project to free and open source software is a beautiful journey that we don't have to do alone, but we can share with members of the community, for example, LibreItalia, if we think about a migration to LibreOffice. So, what can we put in our suitcase before the departure? What can we take with us to live better with simplicity, the beautiful journey to free and open source software? I think that is necessary, the desire to improve and to grow. A great amount of enthusiasm necessary, especially when we will be discouraged for the resistance to change of our users. The willingness to listen to others, the humility necessary to challenge ourselves to do something new or something better. And the simplicity. The simplicity not trivializing problems, but simplicity has the capacity to solve complex problems. The simplicity of our forefathers. Simplicity is a complexity resolved. Thank you. Thanks for your attention. And thanks. Thanks to Matteo Piselli for this first Umbrian TEDx. And thanks to my father and my mother for their extraordinary simplicity.